All right, Chiefs Kingdom. Today I have a special guest, Philly 500. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me on. It's great to be here.
Thank you for coming on. So, with the first question, I want to go over some ways we could see our teams losing. So, go ahead and start with the Eagles, and then I'll follow up with the Chiefs.
Oh, definitely the referees. Let's put it out there, right? Come on, let's do. No, I know that one bothers you guys probably the most, but I think obviously turnovers is number one for me.
Yeah. Well, for the Chiefs side, I think one, not getting behind early. Obviously, the Chiefs have been great in the Super Bowls, getting behind early and coming back. They did that against San Francisco. They did that against you guys 2 years ago. And they did that against the 49ers again last year. So,
Yep.
not getting behind early this time. I think actually, if we got behind early, I don't want to doubt a comeback because at the end of the day, this is a great Chiefs team. But I don't know if we could come back if we got behind early. And also stopping Saquon Barkley, that is the biggest thing that this Chiefs defense needs to get done. So, do you think we can stop Saquon Barkley?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't believe anybody could stop Saquon Barkley. Not just Saquon, but the whole offensive line.
Right.
I believe, at least to this point, I haven't seen a team do it. Pittsburgh came the closest, but I really think I haven't seen a team be able to keep him shut down. There's teams that have done decent jobs for times, but Barkley has a habit where he can have 7, 8 carries and look 40 something yards. It looks pedestrian, and then boom, there's the 60 yarder. Boom, there's the 50 yarder. So until I can see somebody do it, I wonder if anybody can do it. I just feel like they wear everybody down. Everybody every week knows what they're going to do. But I guess I'll say this: if anybody's capable of doing it, it would be the Chiefs defense.
It would beat the Chiefs defense and Steve Spagnuolo for sure. I've said all week is Saquon should be the top priority for this Chiefs defense, but also they need to focus on the other guys. Jalen Hurts is another man
Hmm.
that we need to stop. I believe he got
Yeah.
three rushing touchdowns against us in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So he's not going to be able to need to do that again. We can't have Jalen Hurts scoring three rushing touchdowns and then Saquon Barkley scoring touchdowns. So that's got to be stopped. So you got those two guys to deal with, and then you got Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and not to mention a good Eagles, well, I should say a great Eagles offensive line that you got to get through to stop Saquon and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, it's a tough offense, and if they're clicking on all cylinders, I definitely think they're very hard to beat. Now I know that Saquon Barkley is the game plan. You got to stop Saquon. I get it. That's why I really think the Eagles should come out and actually throw. Like I think the play action fake will be there. I think the short passing game. I think if you come out and you throw a little bit early, it forces the Chiefs to have to worry about everything. The one thing I worry about the Eagles is I don't want them to get like, basically one sided where it's like, okay, we're just counting on that running game and that's it, and you become one dimension that way. So I actually think that the Eagles should actually come out, throw the ball, and kind of establish that early because I think then the Chiefs are going to have multiple things to worry about than just Saquon.
So do you think they're going to pass more or run more in this game?
I think they'll probably end up running more.
Yeah, that would make
I
sense.
think they'll end up running, but I think they're going to throw more. Man, I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
I think they're going to throw more in the first half and run more in the second half.
So Jake Elliott, he's your kicker for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's been
Hmm.
uh, pretty rough, especially from 50 plus in
Yeah.
kicking. So,
Hmm.
well, first of all, does that concern you at all in this game? Because every point counts, especially in the Super Bowl, duh. And what role is special teams going to have in this game?
I think special teams is very important. I mean, I think about the Super Bowl a few years ago where Kadarius Toney ran a huge punt back on us late in that game that really hurt us. That punt really hurt us and set you guys up. So special teams is important. And yes, Jake Elliott scares he scares the pants off me. Like he scares me, legit scares me, because he's been so erratic. And I'm actually more scared, I think, of extra point tries than 50-yard field goals. He's been erratic, so that's definitely a concern going in.
Could you see the Eagles losing because of Jake Elliott possibly missing his extra points or field goals?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I could. I definitely could. It's, I hate to think of ways in which we lose or watching us lose, but I could see a situation where, you lose by a point or two, and he missed an extra point, or he missed a field goal, or he misses a 52-yarder at the end of the game. Like, yeah, knock on wood, I'm not trying to jinx it, but yeah, it's a legit concern. I think every Eagle fan would probably tell you that they are worried about Elliott, even if they don't want to admit it. I think they are.
So your defense plays a good amount of zone coverage, and that is something Travis Kelsey thrives under. So, what
I
is
know.
the goal to stop Travis Kelsey?
Well, Travis Kelsey to me is the key. We haven't. I don't think we've been that great against tight ends in general this year. I think that's the one area on the defense I think we could have been a little better. Zach Ertz had 11 catches last week or 2 weeks ago in the NFC Championship game against us. So Kelsey's going to be a problem, and I think that you're going to see him catch his balls, and he's going to get his yards, and I think he's going to get his catches underneath. The Eagles don't want to give up the big giant play. They don't want to give up the bomb, the quick touchdown. So they tend to allow a lot of stuff, in front of them to happen, and then they try to clamp down in the red zone. So I think Kelsey's going to have his yards. I think he's going to get his catches. I think the important thing is you want to tackle him right away. You don't want yards after the catch, and you don't want him catching the big, 20, 30 yard passes. That you got to take away. But I think Kelsey will get his. I think he'll get his receptions underneath. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was meaning to ask you because I've only had about a week here to study the Eagles' defense, but I wanted to ask you: do you have an idea of how many guys the Eagles' defense they're going to put on Travis guarding Trav?
I think you'll see a linebacker. You might see C.J. Gardner Johnson at times. You could even see Cooper DeJean in the slot if he lines up in the slot. I think you won't see one guy. The Eagles don't man up with one guy, so they're not going to shadow anybody. So you're going to see it depending upon where he lines up and what they're in will depend on who's covering. But I assume you'll see multiple guys. You'll see Zach Bond at times. We'll see. We'll see what their game plan for him is. I would worry about him more than anybody because to me he's Mahomes' outlet. He's a safety valve.
Yes, he's definitely the go-to guy. So Jalen Hurts was sacked the sixth most this season because he likes to hold the ball forever. So does that have any worry to you at all in this game?
Yeah, he can do that at times, but I think overall I think Jalen Hurts, for whatever reason, because he doesn't look a certain way when he throws the ball, and he doesn't put up certain stats that people like. They're always quick to criticize him. He does get in a bad habit of holding the ball too long at times, but when he's getting it out quick, he's effective. One thing I don't worry about this game, honestly, is I don't worry about Jalen Hurts. The bigger the moment, the better he seems to play.
Yeah. So I wanted to keep on the topic of offense. Fourth downs. How aggressive is Nick Sirianni gonna be on fourth downs?
Very aggressive.
Very aggressive.
I think in most cases you're going to see him go for 4th and 1, 4th and 2. You're going to see it, and you're going to see the push tush. Obviously, that's what they're going to do. So you should see that. I find it interesting, and I only watched the Super Bowl we played you guys that one time because I can't stomach to watch it again. But if I remember correctly, in that game, with the punt, Kadarius Toney ran back. The Eagles punted on a 4th and short, which was not like the Eagles. He went away from what they typically do. We wind up punting, and then Tony has a huge return. So I think you're going to see him be pretty aggressive. Sometimes I actually don't like when he does it. Like, I think sometimes it's stupid, but I do think he'll be aggressive. So expect a lot of 4th and 1s. Even I don't care if we're at our 30-yard line. If it's 4th and 1, he's probably going for it.
So, what do the Chiefs and Eagles need to do in the first half to set the tone early for victory? So, you can go ahead for your Eagles, and I'll go ahead for the Chiefs.
Well, I think for the Eagles, obviously, like people are going to tell you, well, they gotta get the running game going and stuff like that. I'm going to say the short passing game. I think the short passing game, getting rid of the ball quickly, having outlets for the Eagles to go when Spags blitzes. I think that's going to be very important because I think if the Eagles can get into a rhythm in the short passing game, it's going to only make Barkley that more effective. If you're one dimensional and you can't throw it and you're just counting on Barkley the whole time, I think that's where the Eagles get in trouble. So I think explosive plays, don't turn the ball over, get that short passing game going because I look at that and the running game almost as the same thing. And if they can do that in the first half, that whole second half, the Chiefs are going to have to cover every inch of that field, and I think that's where the Eagles really want them.
Well, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to need to get the ball out fast, and he's going to have to make your defense scramble. We got to make them scramble. And I actually want to get a run game going. We got Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, Carson Steele, Samaje Perine. I want to get that run game going. Obviously, we're going to pass a lot in this game because this is a passing offense. But getting the run game going is important, and getting the ball out fast when you pass it. And then defensively, stopping Saquon Barkley and making sure you do not get down early because this Eagles team is different than what it was 2 years ago. And getting down early, you've had luck in the last 3 Super Bowls you've won, and you've been able to come back. And I'm not 100% sure that they're going to be able to do that this time around if they get down again.
I like it. I like it. I hope they go down big, and I think they will. I think I feel like this game is going to be. I think the first half. I think the Eagles are going to put some points on the board. I do. I really, really do. I feel good about that. I feel great about this, man. I'm feeling good.
They're going to put up points, but I think Steve Spagnuolo has been studying, studying, studying. He's ready to shut you down. So, who has the coaching advantage in this game?
Oh, I think you've. I listen. I think you got to say the Chiefs. If we're being honest, right? I mean, you got Spags. He's won all those Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator, not just with the Chiefs, but he also won with the Giants as well. And then, of course, Andy. I can't take anything away from that coaching staff. I like our assistants. I like Vic Fangio, but I mean, if we're going to be honest, we'll give it to the Chiefs.
That was the former Broncos head coach. He knows us well. He is a good defensive-minded guy, though. I'll give him that. But lastly, here I want to
Yes.
close out with any player predictions and what are we thinking? Final score: Super Bowl LAX.
Well, it's funny because I talked a lot about the short passing game, and I think it's just important in terms of establishing that to just kind of force the Chiefs to have to play the whole field and not be one dimensional. But I think Barkley's the key. I mean, I think Barkley. I haven't seen a team shut him down really all year. Even when they know it's coming and what's going to happen, they haven't done it. So to me, Barkley is the key, and I'm going to give you two other guys that nobody's talking about. Devontae Smith. He's had big games against the Kansas City Chiefs in the past. I think that continues. And then I think everybody knows about Jalen Carter. Everybody knows about Zach Bond. But I think watch out for Nolan Smith. I predict 2 sacks in this game. One of them will force a fumble late.
Yeah, please no, please no. But yeah, so for me, defensively, the guys to watch: Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. I think Najee Johnson could have a great game back there. He's one of our other corners. Offensively, Travis Kelsey, DeAndre Hopkins, Patrick Mahomes, and yeah, I think the Chiefs get the win, 27-24. I don't think it's going to be as high of a score as it was 2 years ago. It was 38-35, but 27-24 Chiefs. What do you got?
Wow. Are you ready for this
I'm
one?
ready.
This one pisses a lot of people off. 37-20 Eagles. I
Whoa.
think the Eagles come out. Yeah, I think they come
Whoa.
out. I think they're going to score points. I think they're going to put a nice lead up. I think the Chiefs battle back. I think the score is going to be a lot closer than the final score. The game's going to be a lot closer than the final score indicates. I think Chiefs call their way back in it. I think it starts to get close. I think Barkley breaks off the big run to kind of clinch it, and then the Eagles will add a garbage pick six or something when the game is clearly over. So I'm going 37-20. I know that's a cocky score, and I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just going with my gut. But yeah, I think the Eagles are going to do this, man. I feel good. I feel good.
If that is the case, if you guys win by 3 points, then okay, you guys played better. But if you guys win by what you just said, then something had to have gone really wrong. That would be horrible. But no, I think the Chiefs get it
I'll tell
done.
you what. I'll tell you what. If the Eagles lose, I will come back on your channel if you
Let's
want,
do it.
and I will eat crow. I will eat crow, and I will give you guys all the props in the world. But I feel really good about this game. I do.
Yes, I feel great too. So I want to thank you for making the time to come on the show. The game is on
Yeah, man.
Sunday, and I look forward to that. And, oh, actually, before we get out of here, you want to plug in anything?
No, you can just find me Philly 500. I'll be covering the game. I'll be streaming, and I just want to thank you for having me on, reaching out to me. I really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.